Good evening. A warm welcome to State of Business RTV's Primetime News Bulletin. You're with me, Rukshi Panditaratna. Let's take a look at the headlines first. FTA with Singapore to provide immense trade and investment opportunities. Colombo Port registers strong growth at start of 2018. And today on Top Stories, a seminar organized by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce titled Expand Your Business Opportunities Through Sri Lanka-Singapore FTA was held in Colombo recently.
The seminar featured an eminent panel comprising of members from the Sri Lanka-Singapore FTA negotiating team and trade experts. The main aim of the seminar was to discuss salient features of the first comprehensive free trade agreement, which was signed between Sri Lanka and Singapore on the 23rd of January 2018. Moreover, discussions at the seminar afforded participants an understanding as to how the FTA can be used to pursue trading opportunities with Singapore and what it means in the overall trade liberalization context. The seminar further examined the strategic pathway for Sri Lanka to be a beneficiary of more high-level trade pacts in the world. According to experts, this new FTA will provide immense trade and investment opportunities for Sri Lanka, which would increase the country's economic efficiency and capability.
Signing of the Singapore, the significant is, one can argue what is there in Singapore's agreement when 99% of Singapore's tariffs are zero. In any case, you don't need this agreement if you want to enter into the Singapore market. You can in any case do it with the 99%. But from our point of view, I think one of the most important, I think the most economists have agreed is that signing an FTA with one of the most liberalized economies in the world, high quality comprehensive agreements send a positive signal to the world, a message that Sri Lanka is ready for openness, Sri Lanka is ready to link up to the global economy, linked to openness, to production networks, global value chains. So that is the most important message that this agreement will give. The agreement will also we are looking at attracting investment both into the manufacturing and services. I think the day that the agreement was signed on the following day, I think the seminar organized by which were well attended by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, I think some MOUs were signed. Maybe even SMEs, but SMEs even they are looking at to come to Sri Lanka mainly on the hospitality sector and various other sectors. So it's an investment that will trade and investment, manufacturing and services will drive. So much not looking at directly exporting, but it will be to maybe to the third country, the investment come not necessarily back to Singapore. This also triggered trade reforms, liberalization of, rationalization of tariff, removal losses. So those things we have some commitment. Therefore, I think we'll have to look at it in a broader sense, the agreement.
The Colombo Port has started the new year on a strong note with transshipment and overall throughput increasing in January. Total containers handled in January amounted to 484,866 20-foot equivalent units, up 16.4% from a year earlier. Transshipment volume had grown by 20.4% to 463,303 TEUs. All terminals, the Sri Lanka Ports Authority, operated Jaya Container Terminal, South Asia Gateway Terminal and the Colombo International Container Terminal have contributed to this growth. The SLPA-controlled JCT saw its transshipment volume increase 43.7% to 164,252 TEUs and total throughput up 24.8% to 194,688 TEUs. Ship arrivals at the Port of Colombo in January 2018 also showed an increase of 8.1% to 388, whilst container vessels rose 9.2% to 332. The relationship between the management and SLPA trade unions and collaborative support by all parties and stakeholders engaged in the port operations process has effectively contributed to the increase of productivity at the SLPA. The SLPA at present has prepared a 3-year development plan to expedite the port sector development process in the country to further increase container volumes, which is aimed at making Colombo a maritime center in Asia. See you after this break. Welcome back. During an exclusive interview with our television, the Executive Director of Transparency International Sri Lanka, Asok Obesekara, highlighted the steps that needs to be taken by authorities to enhance anti-corruption activities within the country.
I think corruption is a big issue across the world. It happens in different ways, but across the world, corruption is a big issue. If I was to highlight two things which are particular issues in Sri Lanka, I would say that frequently corruption impacts ordinary citizens when they have to get their ordinary state entitlements. So for instance, it has become so normalized to hear about corruption in people getting their children into government schools. Now that is that is something that really would need to change, because the idea that citizens pay towards the state through taxes, be it direct or indirect, and then also face corruption when trying to get their children into schools is a big issue. On the other side of the spectrum, there are other practices which we need to really look at. One being campaign finance, and the fact that with how political parties are financed, there's a big issue there which we need to address, because at the moment contesting elections up until the last local government election was a financially illogical proposition. So we need to really look at how those things are changed. And the final point I would make is even on asset disclosure. Across the region, I mean, we look at India, Pakistan, amongst others, elected officials have publicly distributed asset declarations. In Sri Lanka, we have asset declarations, but under a cloud of secrecy. So those are the sorts of steps that we should really take to ever enhance our anti-corruption status.
Now we have few more stories in brief. According to the Finance Ministry, Sri Lanka has decided to obtain additional financing through a loan of $75 million from the Asian Development Bank to scale up the ongoing small and medium enterprise line of credit project. The government had earlier obtained ADB financial assistance of $100 million in 2016 to finance SME enterprises, with the objective of strengthening the sector by facilitating access to finance and expand employment opportunities. In order to uphold the monumental success achieved over 3 decades, Tilakavardhana Group of Companies recently launched its Elegance Loyalty Card. The Loyalty Card will initially be a common card for all loyalty customers, which will offer special features and rewards.
Let's take a look at stocks after this break. Welcome back. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The all-share price index gained 1.94 points to close at 6,565.63, and the S&P SL20 dropped 5.49 points to close at 3,699.72. The turnover was 288.3 million rupees and 13.02 million shares were traded. Let's take a look at today's forex rates. Thank you for watching State of Business. See you tomorrow at the same time. Till then, take care. Good night.